Hey YouTube, and welcome to another video with myself, the official Wii Gamers Microbox of X, and it's the first proper news video that I've done for quite some time. Just been watching the Gamescom, Xbox Expo conference, whatever you want to call it, and you know, I'm very impressed with all I've seen. I missed E3, unfortunately, as you all know, or if you don't know, I mean, you may just be starting to follow me now, but I have been around for a while. But I wasn't around to do E3, which was a shame because I think Microsoft and the Xbox team smashed E3. You know, they really knocked that out the park. It's not so hard to do this time because for some reason Sony have decided not to attend. If I was a PlayStation 4 gamer, I wouldn't be too pleased about that because it just shows the lackluster you know, lineup of games that Sony has got at the moment, and in my opinion it is lackluster, and that's why I haven't got PlayStation 4. You know, at the end of the day, I game on the system that's got the games I want to play, and if PlayStation had the games I wanted to play, I'd have a PlayStation 4, but it doesn't, and I haven't, and there you go. That's why I'm an Xbox gamer. You know, first off they showed Quantum Break. Very impressed with that game. It looks brilliant, the graphics are crisp, the gameplay looks very good, and they also showed some of the live action TV show as well, which was very impressive. So I think that's got a lot of potential. They then went on to show Crackdown 3. Again, it looked very good. I remember Crackdown 2 on Xbox 360, and the original Crackdown as well. Very good games, but this one's sort of taken it to a whole new level. If you've got the game on the cloud, you've got 20 times the processing power of the Xbox One. That's an incredible amount of power, and some of these sort of explosions and destruction that they were showing within the environments were very impressive. They then showed Scalebound. Now, Scalebound blew me away. I mean, that's a must-buy as far as I'm concerned. It looked brilliant. It looks funny. The graphics look really good. The combat system looked very impressive. And then right at the end, they announced 4-player co-op. You know, done deal, sold. It just looked really good. What else did they show? Games for Gold. All Games for Gold games on Xbox 360 are available back compatible from today, from what they were saying. So every Games for Gold game that goes on the 360 now, if you go onto Xbox.com or go onto your Xbox 360, download that game, you will then be able to download it onto your Xbox One to play on your Xbox One, which I think is brilliant. Back compatibility officially launches for everybody in November, and also the Windows 10 update for Xbox One will also be dropping in November. Killer Instinct Season 3, they've announced will launch in March 2016. I know that the Killer Instinct games have got a lot of fans, it's very popular, so I'm sure a lot of people would be happy to hear that. They then showed some mighty Xbox stuff. I'm not too into my indie games. I know Sony like to class indie games as exclusives. That's not the case, they're indie games. A couple that they did show that I think looked very good. We Happy Few by Compulsion Games looks very interesting, and another game which they showed, which is a first-person game. I believe it was called Ark, if I remember rightly off the top of my head. Looked very interesting. So a lot of stuff there worth looking at. Dark Souls 3 looked very impressive graphically. I'm not really into the Dark Souls games, they're a bit too hardcore for me, and I'm not really into that style of gameplay, so I haven't played the others, but it did look very good. Homefront The Revolution, I know one of my friends has been looking forward to that. He was a big fan of the first Homefront. It did look very good. Again, gameplay, graphics, it did at times look very realistic, so I think that's going to be a game that, you know, does very well. They then showed FIFA 16. I'm sorry, but the FIFA 16 games just don't. The FIFA games just don't do it for me. I find them boring. And if you want to just piss money up the wall, then you buy a FIFA game, because they've got to be the games that with the least resale value of any title. I mean, I've seen new games. I think FIFA 15, you can go into town now and buy that game for less than £5. It's ridiculous. The amount of money that people waste on those games with the legends and things like that. And then the next one comes out, they buy that one, and they've got no resale value on the old game because nobody wants them. It just doesn't make any sense to me, the FIFA games, but I'm not a football fan, so there you go. Halo 5 Guardians, and they showed the new map, and they showed more multiplayer, The multiplayer on that game looks absolutely incredible. Everybody knows Halo. If you're an Xbox gamer, the chances are you're either a fan of Halo or Gears or both. You know, Halo is a big seller, and it looks very, very good. There's no denying it. Just Cause 3. God damn, that game looked fun. I mean, I've not played the first two. I don't know. I know that if you get Just Cause 3, you get Just Cause 2 for Xbox 360 with it as well. So you do get the two, but it just looked damn good fun. So that's something I'm going to be having a look at. And then we get to Forza 6. Now that game looks incredible. It looks incredible. I'm a fan of the Forza series anyway, and they always push the envelope on graphics. But you know, 450 cars, you've got 26 tracks, 24 players, multiplayer on dedicated servers, 24 cars in a single player race, and it's all in 1080p, 60 frames per second. You tell me now that the Xbox One can't actually do these type of games. If these developers can do 1080p, 60 frames per second with graphic quality like that, you know, at the end of the day, the only thing that's holding these games back is the developers taking the time to actually produce the games worthy of the systems. That's the only reason that games aren't looking as good as they should do at the moment. It's purely down to the developers, for no other reason. Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow, I got a real soft spot for Rainbow. It's the game that really started my Xbox career. Xbox multiplayer on the original Xbox, Rainbow Six 3, Black Arrow and Rainbow Six 3. It was the game that I met two of my best mates on. Got a real soft spot for that game. So, you know, many memories with Ross and Duncan on that game. So really looking forward to Rainbow Six. Rise of the Tomb Raider just looked incredible. I did create my pants when I saw that game. It just looks absolutely fantastic. And then right at the end, Halo Wars 2 was announced, and they dropped the bomb. So there you go. Really good Gamescom. I'm really impressed. I think it's brilliant stuff from Xbox again. And Phil Spencer, what a god of Xbox he is. What a god of gaming. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. So please like, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.